Good morning and welcome back to Live Build. As we talked about yesterday, continued the process of building out these links. And so as you can see, I've done quite a few of these now. So I've got up to Pixabay. So we've got Twitter. I've added in the Google Sheets as a shared document, which I've then added into iZoo, so I've uploaded that as a PDF. And then what I wanted to talk to you about today was the process that I go through in terms of building the second tier links. There's a few ways that you can do this, just making sure it's recording properly, but there's a few ways that you can do this. And the one that I'm using is on a remote desktop. So we'll pop in here now. And so effectively what we've got is a piece of software called SEO Neo. And this is something which is pretty interesting. So basically what it gives you the ability to do is using proxies, using accounts, using spin tax, using AI, it gives you the ability to basically build vast numbers of sites. And so you can see the number of links that I've posted. I've created 31,000 accounts and I've got 61,000 links that I've posted using these strategies. And basically what it can do, so there's various different things that you can do with it, but if we start off with the diagram editor, which is kind of the core of the system. Now you're not going to be able to see this clearly, but basically what you can do is you can do money site as the center. So that's obviously the homepage. I'm not necessarily saying that you would point this to your money site, but you could if you wanted to. The way that I'm using this as basically my tier 1 links, which is the WordPress, the Gravatar, etc., etc. I'm pointing all of these assets to this. Then basically what you can do is you have PDF uploads, you have social media, social bookmarking, authority links, web 2s, blah, blah, blah. And so as you can see, you've got batches and batches of these. And so effectively what you end up with is 1,427 referring domains to each of the particular URLs. So it's complicated to set up and it takes time, but the potential value that this can bring in terms of the page authority and the domain authority that the individual assets can have can be pretty substantial. So that's one of the diagrams. There's all kinds of other diagrams as well. So if we just go into some of the other options, I don't know where my diagrams have gone. It was in campaigns, wasn't it? No, content buckets. So what this also gives you the ability to do, all right, so there we go. Neo Hydra is one. You can also incorporate cloud stacks, which again can be a great way of adding more authority to your site. And here I potentially would be more inclined to point these directly to a money site. So what this would do is it basically, there's various cloud blogs that you can set up. And with these, it's in accounts, buckets. What you can basically do is set up various accounts on cloud stacks, using cloud hosted websites, and basically what that then gives you the ability to do is to get links from these domains. And obviously what that then does is it gives your domain more authority, and so on and so forth. So this is something that I think is quite interesting. I think it's the level 2 one, which is slightly more interesting, and you might not be able to see that, but if I zoom in a bit, So basically there, what you've got is you've got a cloud blog, then you've got Web 2.0 blogs, Web 2.0 profiles, authority links, profile links, social bookmarking, etc., etc. So the idea is that these cloud blogs get indexed and then have links pointing to them. So you end up with 1,427 referring domains, but they're tiered. So what that should do is protect your site from so-called spammy links, but the blogs, etc., that are pointing to it should become more authoritative. And there's some fairly serious SEOs that I know that use this kind of approach. There's more automated ways of doing this. So I think Money Robot is a way of doing this. This process does involve lots of settings. And when you go in and you generate content, you're using OpenAI. But nevertheless, so what I'm intending to do with this is basically create a campaign, as we just talked about. So we'll create a new campaign and we'll call this. In fact, let's come out of that. So this is the campaign that I'm looking at creating, and basically what I was going to use the Hydra approach, which is 1,427 domains pointing to this. And then what I was going to do is copy in the Gravatar, the Facebook, the WordPress, the GitHub, the SoundCloud, basically what I consider to be the kind of more authoritative ones, and potentially IZoo, on the basis that we have actually got a PDF hosted there. So this is the kind of thought process with this. So we're going to stick in some domains, and then basically what you have to go through is a process of building out all of the different elements. Eventbrite as well was one, and Calendly. They're the other two that I want out of this list. Sorry, pressed the wrong button. So, and then we want Calendly. And potentially the Google Sheet, actually, if I haven't included that already. That was the other one that I was thinking about including. So basically by doing this, hopefully what we end up with is lots of links pointing to our highly relevant documentation, which these aren't necessarily going to rank. Some of them might do, but basically what this should do is add more authority. And so what we're going to look at is using 70% keywords and then 30% generic. So what this will do, and our keyword is biotech renewables. So what we're trying to do is basically reinforce to Google that this is about biotech renewables, and basically, so by associating all of this information together, then this will basically incorporate this furthermore. So if we just do bold keywords and we'll do 25%, maybe 20%, and then what you can do is the tier 2s. So obviously these are pointing to our tier 1, so this would be a tier 2 link, but then a tier 3 link, so effectively this versions of tier 3 would then be pointing inwards as well. And what we're trying to effectively do is we want 70% again here, and then we want 30% here, and we want biotech. So what we're effectively doing is telling it how to import. We need to use an account template, so it's using that. Just make sure I've got everything loaded up. So effectively what this goes and does is it basically builds this model. So then what we have to go through and do is use account buckets. So we will call this biotech tier 1, and then we're going to generate a folder and we're going to assign it to the group. Okay, and so what we then need to go through and do, this bit's a bit of a pain in the arse, just speaking bluntly, is, so there we go. So basically I've already generated this, but basically what I've got is I've got 30 articles that have been highly spun. And then effectively what that will do is it will basically utilize the articles. I've downloaded some images, I've downloaded some videos, and then what I then go and do is I copy all the settings and I do all tiers. So basically what we're trying to do is basically get there was something on there that I missed, so we need to put an image number and we want it to be random. So by basically building this out, what we're going to do, I need to copy those group settings again, all tiers. So there'll be a few of these that we have to go through, so it's slightly monotonous. I'm using Callincry as the indexer. So basically what we're trying to do is obviously encourage these to get indexed, and then basically we should end up with quite a lot of authoritative sites pointing at these domains, and hopefully in time that will basically increase our probability of ranking for our keywords. And so this is a strategy. The content is actually pretty good. So we have to go through all of these, and basically the reason I'm copying the group settings is it then, as you can see, so there's in tier 1 there's 32 domains. I'm just basically going through and making sure that all, so as you can see, these are all already copied through because it's already filled in. Obviously we've got the indexer, etc, etc. So you don't necessarily have to index the later tier links. The version of Callincry that I've got lets me do that. So what I'm going to then do is go next. So as you can see, I've still got some groups with validation errors. So I basically just go through these and then pull them through, copy the group settings, all tiers. So there is a bit of work involved in this. This isn't one click process, but it works. So what you end up with is literally thousands of links pointing to your tier 1 assets with highly optimized, well-written content that's all generated by ChatGPT, etc, etc. So all of a sudden you end up with something which is pretty powerful. And I was going through some of the domain authorities of some of the sites that it posts to, and it's quite interesting. There is legitimately some of the quality of the places, they're high domain authority sites. So yeah, there's a bit of a process. There we go. So there's no validation errors. You need a capture service as well. So I'm using xevil, however you say that, and then basically you can use a secondary one. It will do 10 HTTP connections. With this piece of software, you do also need mobile proxies, so that it's not rotating IP addresses, otherwise you'll get banned. And then we click save and we click go. There we go. So there's the campaign. We click start. And so what you'll see is here's a list of the Web 2 blogs that it's going to point to. So there's Strikingly, Square Blogs, A Notepad, Click4, Pastelink, blah, 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 blah. WordPress.com is one of those. And obviously some of these are actually duplicates of the information that we've already created. There's Weebly, there's BraveNet, there's Edu, the list goes on and on and on. And then basically what it does is it generates a username and a password. So you have to put in email accounts. So you need 3 or 4 Gmail accounts for it to use, and then it creates variations of those email accounts, and then it forwards those onto you so that you get the notifications, and then it picks up the notifications and it auto approves them. So it's a sophisticated piece of equipment, and then as you can see, it will go through authority links, it will go through social bookmarking, it will go through PDF uploads, Web 2 blogs, or blah 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 blah. And so basically this is the process, and you're not going to be successful in every single one. You're going to get failures in the process. That's absolutely accepted, but what I'm seeing is that this can make quite a big difference in terms of the authority of a domain, and particularly with where you're doing referring domains. So just to show you an example, I'm not going to show you exactly where this pointed. I've got two linked campaigns here. So basically what you can do with it now is basically link the Hydra campaign to Cloud Stacks, and I think that really adds some juice to the process. But if we look at just to give you some examples of the kind of content that it has come up with. So we've got successful, and then basically what we can do is we can copy this to the clipboard and we can actually visit the website. So this is about painters and decorators, it should be, but it's saying painter. Yeah, so it's included that. For some reason it's included designers. I did say painters and decorators should be a protected keyword. So basically what it's doing is it's writing content in ChatGPT, and then it's using Spintax to basically change that content. So this is actually pointing, so it's saying hearts decorators, which you may or may not be able to see it in the bottom left hand corner, but basically that then points to an AWS page, which in fact we can click to. There we go. So finding new color trends, and then painters in St Albans is the keyword that I was optimizing for. And then that's where that links through to. So you've got hundreds of pieces of articles, and let's have a look in Google and see if this page is indexed, because obviously that is, the proof is in the pudding. This is, in fact, let me jump out into the other version of Google. Apologies, my laptop is about to go into meltdown. But basically what I'm going to check is this piece of content indexed? So let's see if it's in Google. So this one isn't yet indexed, which is interesting. So obviously what we're hoping for is that these documents will be indexed. I did that a couple of days ago. So I'll potentially do some work on getting those blogs indexed. So obviously if they're not indexed, it doesn't mean that Google hasn't seen them, but obviously what we want to do is have a deeper look into that. Anyway, so the process, as you can see, is very robust. Indexing is crucial, so that's something I'm going to be looking into further. But effectively what we can end up with is potentially thousands and thousands of links pointing to our sites, Square Blogs, A Notepad, click4.com, Pastelink, Control-C, etc. So as you can see, these are all the links that are pointing through to my cloud stack, which should in turn mean that it is indexed and it is ranked. So yeah, there's a bit of work to do in terms of making sure that they're all indexed. Anyway, hopefully that's useful. I will include a affiliate link to SEO Neo in the video description. Reach out if you've got any questions on this. It's a technical piece of software, but I'm seeing that it does make a difference and it moves the needle, and that's what we care about. Have a great day.